So I'm 22 right now. I live here in Nottingham, England. Right at the moment, I live in Nottingham, England. I'm thinking about moving soon, maybe. I don't know where to yet. Still England, I reckon. I'm thinking about moving away from Nottingham soon. Um, but I want to homeschool my kids. I definitely want to homeschool my kids. What's triggered this brain of this thought process, and what's made me want to record this YouTube video is because I was just been like looking at some of my Instagram comments from the video that I made where it was like Christians should strive to be strong, rich, and dangerous, which I stand by that 100%. Because what I'm saying here is I'm not telling you to live a ungodly life and go out there and focus on hedonism and focus on loads of money and like getting loads of material possessions and stuff like that. The reason why I think it's important to get strong, rich, and dangerous as a man is so that you can literally protect the people around you. That's it. That's literally the only reason. Obviously, things like traveling and stuff always things that go through people's head when they want to start making more money. But like literally, the only reason that actually matters why you need to make more money is to protect the people around you. The only reason why you really need to learn how to fight, the most important one, is just to be able to defend the people that can't, defend the innocent people, defend the defenseless. Because even though you can live a life without all of these things and still live a godly life and get accepted into the kingdom of heaven, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't do these things. Because even though Jesus didn't strive to have money and all of these things, one thing that Jesus did do in his life was go around helping people. Go around helping people however he could, healing people, helping people. That's how Jesus lived his life. And I feel like we need to follow that example, of course. In order for us to go around the world helping people, like, there's the Satanists that have got a lot of control over the world at the moment. They're restricting us heavily. So in order for us to counter the restrictions and reclaim market share, then I think money is an important part of that. Being strong is an important part of that. Being strong physically and mentally, by the way, not just physically, also mentally. And one of the main reasons why I think it's important for you to make money is for your future family. Because if you like, let's say you get an average job, average wage in the UK is like 27K a year or something like that, maybe 30K a year. That's like the average wage in the UK, which is not a lot of money at all. Like I don't think 60K a year is a lot of money. I don't think, to be honest, I don't even think 100K a year. And that's going to sound crazy to most people, but I don't even think 100K a year is that much money. But average wage in the UK, we're talking around 30 grand a year. How, on 30 grand a year, how are you going to have a house, have a wife, retire your future wife, still put food on the table for everyone, and for your kids? You're gonna retire your wife, put food on the table for everyone, pay your bills and stuff like that, and homeschool your kids. Realistically, it's probably not gonna happen, right? It's probably not gonna happen at all. So that's why I think it's important to make more money. Because if you don't make money, what's the alternative? Your wife has to get a job. So you've both got full-time jobs. And what now? You're working all day, so you don't have time to homeschool the kids. Your wife's working all day, so she doesn't have time to homeschool the kids. And now they've got to go to public school. Even private school's not any better. Like private school's still degenerate, but now they've got to go to public school. And I grew up in public school, and I absolutely do not want my kids to go to public school. If you don't make money, then this is what's going to happen. Because what does the public school system look like in the UK nowadays? What does the public school system look like nowadays? First of all, from a very young age, they're taught that the public schools are trying to discredit the Bible. They're teaching them that the Bible is, to be taken like metaphorically, and that humans, like the evolution theory, blah 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 blah. They teach the kids from a young age basically the opposite to what Genesis tells them. They're already getting psyops from like day one in school. They're getting taught all of these like matrix, programming things, eat your balanced diet with your processed carbs and everything, 40% carbs, 40% vegetables, or whatever the silly diet is. Don't eat too much meat, don't eat too much salt. It's going to give you a heart attack. Wear your sunscreen. Obviously, they're taught all of these horrible things in school. That's absolutely retarded. And then they're going to go on through school. They're going to, learn a load of like pointless skills. Of course, it's important for them to socialize and develop their brain, but they can do that as homeschooled kids. A lot of people think, oh, if you're homeschooled, then they're going to turn out to be weirdos. But like, no, if I homeschool my kids, they're going to turn out to be more socially intelligent than people that go to public school. One, they're going to be reading books like, how to win friends and influence people and stuff like that. Two, I'm going to teach them sales. So they're already going to be big G's I'm going to teach my kids sales. Are you mad? And then three, of course, they're still going to be socializing. They're going to be playing out with the other kids in the village, in the countryside village, wherever I live in the UK. They'll be playing out with the other kids, with their cousins, with my clan, the Lowry clan, Yomi's kids, my friends' kids and stuff like that. They'll be playing out. They'll still be socializing. They'll still be going boxing and punching each other up. It's not like they're going to turn into social autists. Absolutely not. I'm not going to allow that to happen. And in public schools, of course, right now, when you get to secondary school in the UK, it is very, very degenerate. These schools are unbelievably degenerate. And again, I've been through public school in the UK as an atheist. I know how these public schools are. I was going to these house parties at 15 years old, and I'm seeing 15 years old, people are having sex in the toilets. This is not the environment that I want my future kids to be in at all. I've been in the environments. I've been to these house parties while I was in school, and I've seen it all. I've seen what happens in the toilets, even at school. Like all sorts of mad stuff is happening at school. Like the racist jokes everywhere. I was a big participant in the racist jokes and all of that. And this degenerate environment is not the environment that I want my kids to grow up in. I don't want my kids vaping at age 12. I don't want them losing their virginity at 15 years old. I don't want this to happen for my kids. So I think it's important that I make enough money so that I can provide for my future wife. If my future wife wants to work, then that's absolutely up to her. But she absolutely has the option to not go to work if she doesn't want to, because I believe that is my job as a man, as a God-fearing man, to protect and provide for my woman. My future wife doesn't have to work if she doesn't want to. My kids are not going to public school. They're getting homeschooled, and they're going to become the next generation of modern crusaders. And I need money in order to make that happen. Now, I'm not a materialistic guy whatsoever. I got rid of my car because I was like, you know what? I'm just wasting time driving when I'd much prefer to just Uber everywhere so that I can work whilst I'm in my Uber. So I got rid of my car. Obviously, I'm going to buy a car again at some point. I'll probably buy a car again soon, just because it's one of those things where it's kind of convenient to have a car. But it's like, I'm not materialistic whatsoever. Not at all. But I still push to make money so that I can provide for the people around me. I can support my mom, support my stepdad. I can provide for my future wife and all of these things. And also now I've got money as well. In case something happens where there's some stupid law in the UK, which is completely against my religion or something like this, in case they try and impose some stupid rules on me that I don't like, I can pack up and I can leave because I've got the finances, I've got the resources in order to do that. Mr. Evil Man Bill Gates or one of these other Satanist guys starts trying to pull a mad thing, I'm gone. I'm somewhere else. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think you need a level of financial freedom. Otherwise, you ultimately just become a slave in the system. You can't really protect the people around you unless you've got money. Of course, you can spiritually protect them. You can pray for them and stuff like this. But, yeah, the world is going to obviously ultimately try and break apart your family because that's what the world is doing. Empower women, blah, blah, blah. Put the kids in public school where they're learning to be degenerates and they're learning to be atheists and they're learning to pick up a vape at 11 years old and be addicted to their phones and stuff. It's not how I want my family to go down. I want to have a good family, a good loving family, and I want to protect them. And I need money to do that. And that's why it's absolutely moral to make money as a Christian. And that's why my kids ain't going to public school. My kids, my sons, these guys are going to be, if you think we're crusaders, my sons are going to be crusaders, boys. My sons are going to be crusaders. I want kids young as well. I want kids young so that when I'm like 40, I can still beat them up. Like when they're like 20, when they're like 20 and I'm like 45, I've still got hands. I can still beat them at sparring. I can still lift more than them. I can still run faster than them. Like I need to show my kids how it's done. So I want kids young as well. I think that's really beautiful. I think it is really beautiful when people get married young and they have kids young and stuff like that. I think that's great. My mum had me at 19. People think, it's not good to have kids when you're young. But a lot of billionaires have kids young. Like that's actually a really interesting statistic. An overwhelming majority of billionaires have kids when they're like below 25 or something like that, or below 30. So that's first point. And second of all, it's like, yeah, people think that it's bad to have kids young, but it's like, when you've got a kid, it gives you another reason, another thing to fight for, another source of motivation. People talk about forbidden pre-workout, right? It's like getting your heart broken, and now you've got forbidden pre-workout. Well, that's like I don't know what the word that's opposite to forbidden is. Like the allowed pre-workout. But imagine if you think getting your heart broken is good pre-workout. Imagine having a daughter, bro. That's mad pre-workout. Imagine having a son. That's pre-workout, bro. That's motivation right there. That's your inspiration every single day you wake up. That's your reason right there. So, yeah, I think it's great when people have kids young. But yeah, my kid's definitely not going to public school in the UK. Not a chance.